Imagine spending years building the business you've always dreamed of. You save every dollar you can, sacrifice your weekends, work late into the night, and pour your heart into something you truly believe will change your life. Every decision feels like another step toward the future you've always imagined. At first, everything feels exciting. The first customer walks through the door, your first sale appears on the cash register, and every small success convinces you that all the hard work is finally paying off. It feels like you're building something that will last forever. But months later, something quietly begins to change. Fewer customers visit your store. Sales slowly decline. The excitement that once filled the room is replaced by silence. Yet the rent, utility bills, and supplier payments continue arriving exactly on time. Most people assume this is the moment when business owners stop trying, but that's almost never true. In reality, they work even harder than before. They wake up earlier, stay open later, and desperately hope that more effort alone will somehow solve every problem. The difficult truth is that hard work has never guaranteed success. Two business owners can work exactly the same number of hours every single day, yet one builds a thriving company while the other quietly runs out of money. The difference isn't effort, it's the decisions they make. That's why so many businesses don't fail overnight. They slowly lose customers, slowly lose cash, and slowly lose hope. By the time the owner realizes what's happening, the warning signs have been there for months. They just didn't know how to recognize them. The first mistake actually begins long before a business opens its doors. It starts when someone falls in love with an idea instead of falling in love with solving a real problem. Having a clever idea might feel exciting, but customers don't pay for ideas. They pay for solutions that genuinely make their lives easier. This is where many entrepreneurs make their first expensive mistake. They build the product they personally love instead of the product customers actually need. Those two things can be completely different, and that small difference can decide whether a business survives or disappears. Successful businesses don't begin by asking, "What do I want to sell?" Instead, they ask a much more important question. What problem are people already trying to solve? The companies that answer that question correctly usually have a much better chance of surviving. Think about it this way. Imagine opening the world's best umbrella store in the middle of a desert. Your umbrellas might be high quality, beautifully designed, and reasonably priced. But none of that matters because you're selling something people simply don't need in that location. That's exactly what happens to many real businesses. They spend months creating products, designing logos, decorating stores, and building websites before ever asking one simple question: will enough people actually buy this? Smart entrepreneurs do the opposite. Before investing thousands of dollars, they test their ideas on a small scale. They ask questions, study customer behavior, gather feedback, and make improvements before committing all of their time and money. Businesses that survive aren't always the ones with the most brilliant ideas. More often, they're the ones that listen, adapt, and improve faster than everyone else. Success usually belongs to those who stay flexible instead of stubborn. Here's something that surprises most people. A business can look successful from the outside while quietly dying on the inside. Customers are still walking through the door, sales are still happening, but behind the scenes, the money is disappearing faster than it's coming in. This is called a cash flow problem, and it's one of the biggest reasons small businesses fail. Profit and cash are not the same thing. A business might be making sales every day, but if the money isn't available when bills are due, trouble starts very quickly. Imagine selling 100 cups of coffee today, but your rent, electricity, employee wages, and supplier payments are all due tomorrow. If there's not enough cash in your account, those sales won't save you. That's the reality many owners discover too late. Successful business owners don't just track how much money they make. They carefully watch when money comes in, when it goes out, and how much they need to survive the slow months. Managing cash is often more important than making another sale. One unexpected expense can completely change everything. A broken coffee machine, a delayed supplier shipment, or even a slow month can create a chain reaction. Suddenly, you're borrowing money just to keep the doors open, hoping next month will somehow fix today's problems. The smartest business owners prepare for problems before they happen. They build emergency savings, control unnecessary spending, and always keep enough cash available to survive difficult weeks. They understand that stability is often more valuable than rapid growth. The businesses that survive aren't always the ones making the most money. They're often the ones that manage manage their money the best. Because in business, running out of cash usually ends the journey long before running out of customers. Money isn't the only reason businesses struggle. Sometimes the biggest mistake has nothing to do with finances at all. Begins the moment an owner starts believing they already know exactly what every customer wants. And that's where our next lesson begins. Because businesses don't exist for the owner, they exist for the customer. The moment you stop listening, stop improving, that's when competitors begin pulling ahead. The biggest mistake small business owners make is assuming they already know what customers want. They become so focused on their own ideas that they stop paying attention to the people they're actually trying to serve. That's often where the decline begins. Customers rarely complain forever. Most of the time, they simply leave and never come back. They don't announce it. They don't argue. They quietly choose another business that listens to them better. Every customer interaction is valuable information. A simple suggestion, a complaint, or even a question can reveal exactly what your business needs to improve. Smartest entrepreneurs treat feedback like free advice instead of personal criticism. About the companies people love most. Constantly improve because they pay attention to their customers. Test new ideas. Remove what doesn't work. Or assume they already know all the answers. The moment you stop learning from your customers, someone else starts learning from them instead. Sooner or later, that competitor becomes the business everyone chooses. When sales start falling, most business owners make the same decision. Spend more money on advertising. It feels like the obvious solution. More ads should bring more customers, right? Unfortunately, that's not always how business works. Advertising doesn't fix a weak business. Simply brings more people to see the same problems. If customers don't enjoy the experience, they won't return no matter how many ads you pay for. Imagine pouring water into a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can keep adding more water, but the bucket never fills. Marketing works the same way. If your product, service, or customer experience is broken, advertising only wastes more money. Successful companies improve the business first. They make the product better, simplify the customer experience, and solve real problems. Then they invest heavily in marketing because they know satisfied customers will keep coming back. Marketing should be a spotlight, not a disguise. It should help people discover a great business, not hide the flaws of a struggling one. That's the difference between temporary attention and long-term success. Many small business owners believe nobody can do the job as well as they can. So they make every decision themselves, answer every phone call, handle every customer, and solve every problem alone. At first, it feels responsible. Eventually, it becomes the biggest obstacle to growth. Every hour spent doing small tasks is an hour not spent improving the business. While you're busy replacing light bulbs, cleaning floors, or answering routine questions, your competitors are planning better products, stronger marketing, and new opportunities. The goal isn't to become the busiest person in the company. The goal is to build a business that can succeed even when you're not doing every single job yourself. That's the difference between owning a job and owning a business. Great business owners build systems, not dependents. They create simple processes, trust capable people, and allow their teams to grow. That's how a small business slowly transforms into a company that can keep improving year after year. The most successful entrepreneurs eventually stop asking, "How can I work harder?" Instead, they ask, "How can this business work better?" Every hour spent doing small tasks is an hour not spent improving the business. While you're busy replacing light bulbs, cleaning floors, or answering routine questions, your competitors are planning better products, stronger marketing, and new opportunities. The goal isn't to become the busiest person in the company. The goal is to build a business that can succeed even when you're not doing every single job yourself. That's the difference between owning a job and owning a business. Great business owners build systems, not dependents. They create simple processes, trust capable people, and allow their teams to grow. That's how a small business slowly transforms into a company that can keep improving year after year. The most successful entrepreneurs eventually stop asking, "How can I work harder?" Instead, they ask, "How can this business work better?" That single change in mindset often separates businesses that survive from those that quietly disappear. Success can be just as dangerous as failure if you're not prepared for it. The moment sales begin to grow, many business owners rush to open another location, hire more employees, or buy expensive equipment. Growth feels exciting, but moving too fast can create problems that are even harder to fix. More stores don't automatically mean more profit. Every new location brings higher rent, additional salaries, larger inventories, and more responsibility. If the original business isn't stable, expanding too early only multiplies the existing problems. Some of the strongest companies in the world spent years perfecting one successful system before expanding. They focused on consistency first, because a business that works in one location is far easier to grow than one that's already struggling. Real growth isn't measured by how quickly you expand. It's measured by how well your business performs after the excitement fades. A smaller business that consistently makes a profit is often stronger than a larger business that's constantly struggling to survive. The smartest entrepreneurs know when to grow and when to wait. They understand that building a solid foundation today creates opportunities that last for years, while rushing often creates problems that could have been avoided with a little more patience. Many business owners know exactly how many customers walked through the door today, but they have no idea whether the business actually made money. They stay busy every single day, yet rarely stop to measure what's really happening behind the scenes. Revenue might be increasing, but profits could be shrinking. Expenses may be quietly rising month after month without anyone noticing. By the time these problems become obvious, fixing them is usually much more difficult than preventing them in the first place. Successful entrepreneurs don't rely on guesses. They regularly review sales, expenses, profit margins, and customer trends. Numbers tell a story, and if you learn to read that story early, you can solve small problems before they become expensive mistakes. Think of your business like a car on a long journey. If you never check the fuel gauge, engine temperature, or warning lights, it doesn't matter how well you drive. Eventually, something will fail, and it will probably happen when you least expect it. The healthiest businesses aren't built on luck. They're built on informed decisions made consistently over time. The more clearly you understand your numbers, the more confidently you can plan your next move instead of simply reacting to problems. The final mistake isn't about money, marketing, or customers. It's something much quieter. It's the belief that what worked yesterday will continue working forever. In business, that's one of the most dangerous assumptions anyone can make. Customer habits change, technology changes, markets change. Even competitors continue improving every single year. If your business stays exactly the same while everything around it moves forward, you're actually falling behind without realizing it. The strongest businesses never stop learning. They experiment with new ideas, listen to changing customer needs, and improve little by little. They don't change because they're failing. They change because they want to stay successful for years to come. Every successful business you admire today has made mistakes. The difference is that they treated every mistake as feedback instead of failure. They adapted, improved, and kept moving forward while others gave up too soon. Small businesses rarely fail because of one catastrophic mistake. More often, they fail because of small problems ignored for too long. But the good news is that those same small decisions, made wisely every day, can also build a business that lasts for decades. So if you're dreaming of starting a business, or you're already building one, remember this. Success isn't about having the perfect idea. It's about solving real problems, managing your money wisely, listening to your customers, and improving every single day. The businesses that survive aren't always the smartest. They're the ones that never stop learning. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who's building a business or dreaming of starting one. And if you enjoy simple business lessons explained through real stories, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.